Plans for Kenya to borrow externally have been dealt a blow following a weekend review of its credit ratings. S&P Global Ratings said a sharp slowdown in GDP growth in 2020 tied to the coronavirus pandemic and a consequent rise in fiscal deficits are likely to affect the country's repayment of the debt.
Effects of the COVID-19 pandemic have pushed the country's debt rating lower to a B from a B+. The report from S&P Global Ratings, which was released March 5, 2021, also stated that should the country either fail to curb its fiscal deficit or enter into debt restructuring agreements, then the country's debt rating would be lowered further beyond the B. Last year, Kenya borrowed 347 billion shillings from external markets to finance its budget deficit, this increasing to 399.9 billion shillings this financial year. The American credit rating agency, however, says it could raise the country's deficit if a significant and sustained improvement is done on the country's accounts. The pandemic-related economic fallout drove the country's GDP growth down to 0.2% in 2020 from an average of 5.6% in the previous 5 years. The report further notes that one of the most adversely affected sectors was the banking industry, with non-performing loans increasing to 14.1% as of December 2020. This compounded by the repealing of the interest rate cap in November 2019. S&P also warned the government against supporting state-owned enterprises, which only denies the government revenues and would also see funds that could be used elsewhere directed to them. One such entity mentioned in the report is Kenya Airways, which is undergoing a nationalization process which will see the National Treasury buy out its shares. The main effect of a country's credit rating being lowered is higher interest rates that they will have to pay on any amount they wish to borrow. This is because lenders will be more concerned that they will not be able to be repaid in future, so they demand higher interest rates. Globally, there are three main credit rating agencies internationally: Moody's, Fitch and S&P. Faisal Ahmed, Citizen TV, Nairobi.